So in my hands here I have the knuckle and the original shock. And this bushing right here is seized. Every 308 that I have driven, and there's been a few of them that had the original Konis in it, were dead. And I mean uncomfortably dead. So I'm going to assume at 69,000 miles that these are just as dead. This bolt right there, that bolt and bushing, that one right there, are giving me a little bit of problem. Makes no sense to me for me to have to take these bushings out, put new bushings in it, to put it back together just to put a used dead shock in. So as much as I didn't want to spend the money, I'm going to spend it and buy the shocks. I've already ordered them, they're coming. Birdman308.com, what a fantastic site. I'm sure if the owner of that site was a YouTuber 10 years ago and that information was put on YouTube, I'm sure you'd have a couple 100,000 subscribers by now and you'd be rocking it. Speaking of subscribe, now would be a great time to hit that like button and subscribe button because you know you want to. Anybody that owns a Ferrari and works on it themselves knows this site. Birdman, aka Jonathan, created this site many years ago. I don't know the guy, but the information here is priceless. And for those of you watching this right now that don't have a clue of what I'm talking about, this fellow here figured out how to use a common aftermarket replacement shock that's fully adjustable to replace his original Konis. These shocks are common, they're available for multiple sites on the web. I ordered mine from Summit Racing because I get a lot of stuff from them. And then this other company called Unobtainium Supply. Somehow the two of them came together, you know, they probably shared a couple brewskis, and then they just came up with this cool procedure to do this job. And from what I hear, a lot of people have taken their Konis off and thrown them out and put this system in. I also have another minor problem. The hoist that the Ferrari is sitting on is due for repair. In Canada, we have to inspect our hoists every year. They have to be recertified every year. And the one that the Ferrari is sitting on is in need of repair and has to come off. I can't put it off anymore, so I'm going to have to put 3 wheels back on, drop the car down onto a jack stand, and then slide it back 10 feet so the hoist can be repaired in order for me to get my certificate on it to say that it has met the yearly inspection. So this bolt and bushing isn't actually that stuck. I mean, you don't see me getting the torches out now, do you? And guess what? Us mechanics don't do this sort of stuff on a nice clean bench. I'm doing this for you. I think anybody that does a video documentation of their work understands that it takes 3 times the amount of time to get anything done. 1/3 the amount of time to do the actual work, and the 2/3 of the time spent fussing around with cameras and video gear and editing software. It never seems to end. See, we use these things for everything. What are the chances of me sending this thing flying? I think they're pretty good. One Koni strut. Now I believe all my bearings on this car are good. That's why I'm not going to sandblast this unit. I'm just going to clean it as best I can. I mean, it's aluminum cast part. It should clean up okay. I know it sounds kind of noisy, but that's actually just some dirt that I got in there that I got to get out. And speaking again of wasting time, why yes, it did take me longer to actually edit this little clip than actually do the work. Moving on to the brake calipers. This is the right rear. It's the one that I know has a problem in it. Out of sight to my right on my toolbox is a laptop with a teardown procedure, and I'm just going to go step by step and try and remember how to do this. Now the real trick would be to build a hot tub time machine or something like that, head back to the 90s when I had a tad bit more hair, and pay closer attention to all the calipers I rebuilt back then, because it's been that long. Yeah. Well, everything's being a problem today. You can see here that somebody's tried to chisel this out. Definitely somebody's already had this caliper apart. That is completely rounded. So nothing fits in there properly. Damn. I don't think this is going to work, but we're going to give it one try. No, it's already too rounded. Inside this tiny hole is a small gear. You put a 4mm Allen key hex socket in there, and you're supposed to be able to just turn this clockwise and the piston will walk itself out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And there's my problem. That's totally mangled. Alright, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. So I've gone and stolen the gear out of the left rear caliper just to see if I can save myself. This is the one that's in the right rear. You can see it's completely and totally destroyed. That's why the caliper was not working. This is the one I'm gonna try and insert it into my other caliper and see if I can make this work. Alright, so this right rear caliper, there's something definitely broken inside, and I don't want to make it any worse. And I can't see what it is that's broken because I'm looking down that tiny little hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the left rear caliper off. I'm going to move this aside, this one aside for the moment. Take the left rear and try and take that one apart because I believe that one's okay, and I can figure out where and what is wrong without destroying or mangling this caliper any more than it already is mangled. Finally. That worked way better. That's the way it was supposed to come out. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen like that. Thankfully, the snap ring gods are on my side and it fell right at my feet. Now, this little screw gear mechanism isn't actually for the hydraulic brakes. It's the adjuster that works with the hydraulic brakes and the parking brake to allow the piston to adjust out as the brakes wear. Given that, I have to wonder why the brake pad was out of this vehicle. Was it seized in there? Was it not installed properly? I may never know. All I know is it'll be right when I'm done with it. So now that I have the inboard half of the driver's side caliper apart, I can see the mechanism, I can see what it's supposed to be doing, and I now know where the problem is. Let me show you using the good parts, and then we'll be able to see where the bad part. Okay, so this is the driver's side caliper, the inboard half. This is the gear mechanism that spins the caliper out. There's the bad one right there. And now that it's out, I can see that that meshes in with that there. And as you turn this gear, it spins the caliper out. The caliper piston, excuse me, which is like that. So you would, in order, when the caliper piston's in all the way, it would be there. And then as this mechanism turns, it will force this piston out. The problem is that this piece over here is completely done, and now that I'm looking inside, I'm pretty sure that gear is completely mangled as well. Otherwise, if this wasn't mangled, this would have turned that caliper out, that piston out. So now I have to figure out how to get said piston out over here some other way, and I need to get that piston out.
You can't.
Ideas.
Can you
but it's got to turn them. Because I can't pull, it's not going to pull. I need to turn.
It's too shallow. Not enough to bite onto.
Let's just see if it'll move.
Yep.
Okay, so that's moved.
Yeah. Ready. I think if we weld this here,
If you come in this area, you'll be on camera.
we
Are
will.
you okay with it?
Run away!
Are you okay with it?
Run away! I don't care. Except I look dirty.
Look at me. Every time I watch my videos, I'm like,
Hey, are those? I didn't even look at the car. Are those inboard calipers?
no. Him and I agree that we're going to sacrifice the piston.
May not.
Well, chances are we're going to sacrifice it, right?
Yeah.
We're going to try welding that there and seeing if we can't spin it out. Are you welding?
You weld. I hold. Take. Yeah.
You betcha. Okay, hold on. It's moving, isn't it?
Yep. You turn.
Okay, hang on.
Ah!
It's moving.
Almost. Moving. It moved. Which is a good sign.
Give it a wire wheel there. I'm going to grab another nut.
And here she comes.
Just turn it a bit. So.
Oh, we got bonfire. I smell something.
Oops.
Oops.
Stuff again.
Guess what? Don't have to buy a new piston.
You don't have to buy a new piston? Well, yes.
Come on.
You can get it off.
Getting that off and away you go.
There we go. See that? It's missing that chunk right there. Ta-da, right there. There's the problem. Alright, so I managed to save that body, which was the really big factor for me. I did not want to have to replace that body because those bodies are very difficult to find in individual pieces. You have to pretty much buy a whole caliper, and prices range anywhere from $500 or $600 to $1,000 for one of these calipers, a single caliper. I could probably source out that little piece for $30 or $40 and away I go. Anyways, thanks for watching and we'll catch you in a bit.